Welcome to another video. Today, we will be going over 5 costume ideas for tall people. Let's get started. Oh, that was delicious. Before we go, okay. I can't do that anymore. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Before we get rolling, if you do enjoy today's video, at the end of it, please consider subscribing to the channel so it can continue to grow and I can continue to bring more content to you. In case you couldn't understand me in the intro, today we're going over 5 costume ideas that are great for tall people. Oh, I guess if I'm done with my meal, I should take this off. Before we get too far into these costumes, one thing to keep in mind is that I am not a professional costume designer. These are just some ideas that I came up with that I'm hoping might help you expand on your Halloween wardrobe. Most of the costumes that you're gonna see today are actually DIY. I wanted to bring some options that you could easily make that are super cheap, except for the very last one. That one's not so DIY, but you'll see it whenever you get to that point. First up, everybody, we have a skyscraper outfit. Being a tall person, you constantly have to hear about it, and you're constantly compared to buildings. So for Halloween, why not be a building? For this costume, I took 2 cardboard boxes and then I painted them gray. With the help of my amazing wife, we cut out a bunch of foil windows to line the sides of the building and then picked up a stuffed gorilla and a Barbie doll to complete that King Kong skyscraper kind of theme. One thing I wanted to make sure with this costume is that it could fit through doors, and it can, and then also that you can still take a drink with it while you're wearing it. It's not the most comfortable, but it's super light and it's easy to get on and off. When I researched skyscraper outfits, I came across people that had a lot of headpieces that were kind of the top of the building. Well, when you're already super tall, it's hard enough to fit through a doorway. That is why I did not create a headpiece for this particular outfit, because it's gonna be hard enough to fit into places unless you're gonna be in the outdoors, then you can do that. On the inside, to actually secure the skyscraper, I ordered like these elastic bungees that actually go over my shoulder and help hold everything up, and it barely feels like you're even wearing anything at all. Next up, we have a short person on stilts. This is one of my favorite costumes I saw from a couple of years ago that I think is great if you're a taller person. Yes, it is a costume making fun of short people. However, how many times do we have to hear about how tall we are? It's finally time to turn the tables, my friends. With this costume, I took 2 smaller sized boxes and I cut them so that they fit closely around my calf. Then I cut some shoes in half and glued them to the top part of it and tied them around the bottom part of my knee. And then you just roll your pants up so that it looks like you have pants sitting on top of your shoes. It's pretty hysterical looking to me. I really enjoy it, and it should be a great hit at any of the Halloween parties that you might go to. Next up, we have the winter podium. Not just any winter podium, but a short person winter podium. For this costume, I took another big box like I did with the skyscraper costume, and I painted it gold. On the front, I stenciled the number 1 in, and then I freehand drew all the little leaves to look like the champion logo, and then I just picked up the rest of the attire for the upper half at like Academy, so you look like an athlete. There's a lot of variation you could do with this costume. Instead of a medal, you could have a trophy, you could have a racing placard you could put on there. There's all kinds of different things you can do to make yourself look like a little athlete on a podium. It's also hilarious, and it also fits through doorways. That was important to me. The 4th costume that we have today is a tree. I used to have the nickname Tree in college because I have the stature of a tree, right? And as tall people, we constantly get compared to those very tall plants you find out in the woods. So why not go as one for Halloween? What I ended up doing for this costume was I found some really great camo at Academy that looks like an actual tree trunk. It doesn't fit the greatest because Academy is not known for carrying a lot of big and tall stuff, but I was able to get by with it. For the branches, I'm pretty proud of how they actually came out. What I ended up doing was taking heavy-duty picture hanging wire and making a sort of like chest cage that goes underneath the shirt. And then you twist other pieces of the picture hanging wire onto the cage and stick them out through the shirt in a bunch of crazy directions. I would like to have done more branches looking back at it. However, the 7 that I have on there now, I think actually look really great. After that, we took cardboard packing paper and twisted it around the metal wire so that it looks like branches. After that, you take these little leaves that I found on Amazon. It's like 11 bucks for like 200 of these things, and you just glue them all over the branches with a hot glue gun. Super easy, super cheap, and looks pretty cool because you actually look like a tree. And then I also added a little squirrel friend on my branch there. I made sure that the branches only go in front of me and behind me. That way you can easily walk through doorways, but you are gonna have to be aware of the fact that your branches are gonna be eye level for a lot of people, so be very careful about how you structure capture these things. Other than that, I think it's a great costume idea, and I think people are really gonna love it at a party.
And last, but most certainly not least,
we have the famous Michael Myers. Everyone knows Michael Myers is big. He's like a horror icon for tall people, and I had to throw him in here. This is the costume that is not DIY. I had to order the mask, and I ordered the coveralls, and I found a big and tall pair of coveralls that I linked below that actually fit my frame. I'm 6'10", I weigh 350 pounds, and I have a 38-inch inseam, and so it's not easy to find coveralls that you can still move around comfortably in, but I found some, and they're actually pretty great. I washed them in cold water so that they did not shrink because there was no room for that, and they came out awesome. What I ended up doing was taking sandpaper, rubbing it all over the coveralls to rough them up a little bit, and then I took fake blood and just painted it onto the front and back of the coveralls. For the mask itself, this is the Trick or Treat Studios 1978 Halloween edition mask. It runs about $70, and it does not come with all the blood and kind of rustic look that it has. But what we ended up doing whenever it came in was taking some makeup and making the edges and features darker so they stood out a little bit more. And then I took fake blood on a paintbrush and just flicked it across the face so it looks like blood splatter. I think it came out pretty great, and it's a classic horror design. Also from Spirit Halloween, I picked up a nice foam knife. That's Michael's classic weapon of choice. But you can also take a 3-foot steel wrench if you want to, or a really big screwdriver. Just depends on what you want to kill someone with that day, right? Oh, okay, that was just inappropriate. Okay. I am so sorry that you had to witness that. Oh goodness, there he is again. I apologize to my audience that you had to see that. And that's it, my friends. Those are 5 costume ideas that I think would be a great hit at any party that you want to go to that supplement wearing them on a tall frame. The first 4 are easy and cheap, and they'll get a great laugh, and then the 5th one is just a classic that how could you not want to be a Michael Myers at some point. The best thing about these costumes, it doesn't matter if you're a tall man or a tall woman. Anyone can wear these costumes and it'll come out great. So I hope you enjoyed today's special edition Freaky Tall Reviews video. If you like this video and you like the rest of the content on the channel, I would love if you would take the second to subscribe, like the video, and click the little notification icon. That way you know when I come out with new videos. My schedule right now is at least 1 video a week. One thing I want to make sure that I'm doing is covering things that you, my viewer, wants to see. What do you want to see that's a great product for big and tall people? I will find it and I will review it. What is something that you've been researching that you want to know if it can still work for your size? Let me know and I'll go review it for you. Lastly, I have the best audience in the world. You guys have been so positive and so instrumental in helping me grow this channel, and I just want to say thank you so much for being along with the ride, and I look forward to seeing you in the future as more videos come out. Thanks so much for joining again today. Have a very happy Halloween. Again, I'm Corey from Freaky Tall Reviews. We'll see you next time.